We're at the top of the hour. Welcome to July 2026 AI Impact Hour. If you just joined us, go ahead and make sure you're on mute, and so that won't be any disturbance. It's a little different today. We're actually in the Zoom meeting instead of the webinar style. So that means that you can actually unmute yourself. I prefer, if you would like to talk, to use the raise your hand option. If you cannot find the raise your hand option, because I know sometimes the Zoom screen looks different for different people, you can just wave at me and I'll be able to unmute you. So, what is AI Impact Hour? We know AI is everywhere. We're not going to get away from it. It's going to be with us for the rest of our lives. And so, as a nonprofit, I want to see how nonprofits are using AI or not using AI to make an impact on your work as a nonprofit. I have seen some incredible things. I have my own nonprofit and I use it almost every day. TechSoup uses it every day. We are creating AI policies. We have created AI policies. Now, when you're creating your new websites, AI policies are already built in, but you can make them on your own. So I don't want to get ahead of myself. How I want to run this today, I want to have you jump in the hot seat. And I can hear myself echoing, so I know somebody's on mute. I want to have you jump in the hot seat. That's why, as you were coming in, I asked different people to put their website in. Incredible work. A lot of people, I mean, your website are just crisp and clean. Now everybody's doing incredible work because you're helping your community. So that in itself is just amazing. So there's over 100 people here. So I definitely need you to help me. So again, everybody stay on mute. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the gallery view so you can see the way I see. So I see all of you there. Charles, I thank you for coming in early and saying how much you like the AI. I don't want to say AI. Yeah, it is the AI song that I created for TechSoup. So I appreciate that. So I know you're like, who wants to be in the hot seat? I'm just gonna pick on one person. And what I want to know is how you are using AI, or if you're not using AI. You know what? Instead of me picking on you, because you may not be camera ready. You know, us ladies, we have a lot of lipstick and stuff. Go ahead and use the raise your hand option if you would like for me to call on you. We've already learned something from each other earlier when I was asking somebody about the name of their nonprofit, and they assumed that I knew where it was because of the name, and I didn't. So that's one thing we learned already. So let me see. All right, Linda, I see you raising your hand, waving your hand. That's right. And then Sarah, I'm going to come to you. You guys went at the same time. So Linda, you can unmute yourself. And what was the name of your nonprofit? Did you put the link in the chat?
Yes, I did. It's called Sisters of Grace Ministry,
That's right. That's
and
right.
we're out of Texas, but we really serve women all over the United States.
Awesome. Let me put your link up here. I had it, and I still have it. There we go. I'm going to share it with the group, and let's just dive into Sisters of Grace. So just a minute. This is again, this is the hot seat. It's nothing. You're not. This is only here to help you
Abigail,
if you can. Can everybody see my
that's
screen? Yeah, it's coming up. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is so nice. I love a clean website with you can see the letters because the background is white. I know immediately what you're doing. I see you got a privacy policy. Does it have anything to do with AI on here? I'm just curious.
no, but I've been afraid to because I didn't know exactly how to use it. I've used it to make flyers out for events that we do,
Mhm.
but I've not used it on our website. I would love to because we do such sensitive work that we
Yes,
can't put people, I can't even put my volunteers' pictures on there.
yes,
I can tell stories, but without names because of confidentiality. But what I'm learning just a little bit that I like to learn more, and that's what caught my eye about this, is AI being able to create women that look like everybody, and us being able to create a little bit more on our website. I have held back on our website for a period of time, knowing that This was not how women were going to find us.
Mm.
Honestly, it's all by referral. I don't know. I think it's God that puts our phone number on the back of women's restroom doors because we've gotten them from all over the United States. And they just happen to know somebody that happened to know somebody that happened to live in Texas that happened to know about us. And that's how they call us.
Wow. And that's usually how the domestic violence shelters are ran, by word of mouth. This is so incredible. I love this here, Sisters on a Journey. I love your image. That's just me. It might be me personally. And I did see how it added the brown in there. So I don't know if AI did that for you or if somebody did that for you. Very,
I
very
did this a long time ago. I'm not pleased with it now. I would like to change it and I want to learn more. And that's why I'm here.
okay. Okay. You
'Cause
know what? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
I
ahead.
was just going to say, we had what you're looking at are four different programs that we offer, and they're all very different. On the left side is Sisters of Courage, and that is where we walk with women, sometimes up to 2 years
Yeah.
from the very first time that they call us, because life is so very messy and domestic violence is so very messy, and it's an ebb and flow kind of thing. Just when things get stabilized, things get out of whack real quick. Then they stabilize, they get out of whack again. So we stay with them. We want to make sure they have an environment around them, a church environment, a support, neighborhood support, family support, friends support, whatever it may look like when they finally step out on their own with their children, and what does that look like for them. So sometimes it's a long relationship with them. The
Of
second one is
course.
Sisters on a Journey. This is a therapist that focuses on sexual betrayal and trauma. So it's a support
Wow.
group that is like 20 weeks long. She does an incredible job with these women. It's Everything is biblically based. The third one is Sisters of Strength, and we provide Bible studies. We're going to have a bead jewelry making class just for women to gather together, relax, enjoy each other, connect, that
Nice.
kind of a thing. And
Well,
then daughters of,
let me make a suggestion. Let me make a suggestion for your website.
yes,
If you want to redo it, there's a couple of things. Every website now is using AI. So you can, I don't know who you use for your hosting. Is it GoDaddy? Is it
Wix,
Wix? Wix?
Wix.
Okay. Wix is definitely using AI. So you can go in and before you even publish, you can ask Wix to create a whole different website. You can put your website in and tell it you want to redesign this website and put the link to your website and just watch it in minutes. It's going to recreate a whole different design for you without you telling it anything. And if you don't like something, you would say, change this color, remove this, and it will redesign it for you. So that's just the power
Oh,
of AI. Yes. So I want to get a chance to go to Sarah and then go to uh, La Charles. And everybody, you're here. You can be putting ideas in the chat for Linda as well, because redoing your website now, it doesn't take, $5,000. So Sarah, welcome.
Hi, I'm Sarah with Blight Cares. My website's horrible right now, so don't judge it if you look at it. I've actually have my graphic designer working on it on the side. But anyway, we use AI. I use it when I need to when I'm working on a grant proposal and I need to shrink things. Like if they say 100 words or less, I'm like, oh, how do I do that? So I use it quite a bit for that. And then I was looking at a provider that would have like a virtual assistant, someone to work on graphic design, a host of things. I don't know that I'm ready to do that yet. Read emails, reply to them, or draft replies, that sort of thing. But that's what I've been using.
Yeah, it is amazing what it can do for you. Like drafting the replies, it's crazy. I scheduled all my birthday posts with AI this past week, but the grant writing that you mentioned, it is so important. Like when it says, like you said, it says only use 100 character or 100 words using AI to make it succinct. Remember, you guys, AI is your volunteer, so you still have to read what it says and make sure that it makes sense. So I really appreciate you sharing that. And go ahead and pump your link in. I just want to see it just for me. So it'll be at the bottom for me. And La Charles, while she's doing that, would you like to share? You're on mute, sir. You're still on mute. I don't know if you yeah,
And
oh, you're using your phone. Bless you. Okay. I'm interested in developing AI policies soon before we fully embrace AI. I understand that. And guess what? There are many. We will find the AI policy that TechSoup has and drop that link in. But AI, your AI policy is your AI policy, so it's going to be different. Like the domestic violence policy is going to be different than what TechSoup has. So we that's something you can ask AI to do too, as well to write your. Go ahead, La Charles. How are you?
hey, I finally got this thing unmuted. How are you this morning?
I'm great. I'm great.
That's good. Well, you want to know what I did with AI? Well, I started out developing a game, and the game sort of morphed, the concept sort of morphed, and I got a actual company to help me with it. And now it's going to be published in about 5 days after 6 months of working. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Actually, it's a behavior simulator for people that live in the wildland urban interface. We do fire mitigation kind of stuff because I live in a place in Northern California that has 1,700 acres of eucalyptus trees.
Wow. So
So,
since you've built this, let me ask you this because this is a thought that's on everybody's mind as you're gathering data. I'm not sure if it's an app and apps gather data. As you're gathering data, what
mhm.
privacy policy are you putting in place and how are you protecting the data that you're gathering from people?
Okay, we are not in the data gathering stage on this platform. All we want basically are for people to engage in behaviors that will save their lives in
Mm,
terms of dealing with physical things around their house. So they're in the build out of it, which would come if we find sponsors for the game. We can discuss data gathering after that, but right now it's just for creating positive behaviors that will help you stay alive during a fire event.
nice, nice. I see Erica. This is a great comment, Erica. She said, I use AI to develop much of the AI policy and ask it for it. I ask it to refer to other similar organizations that have AI policy. Great, great. Thank you for sharing that, Erica. That is so important. Hey, if you're doing something similar to what Goodwill or United Way is doing, say, hey, can you gather information from United Way's AI policy or other domestic violence organization policies? So that was great. And you make sure there's no hallucination. It's very important to read what you're putting out before you put it out because she said, for those of you who don't know what hallucination is, I give you a great example. I asked AI to make something for me, and I knew as soon as it gave it to me, that was somebody else's image. It had their colors. It wasn't even my colors. It just so it gathered because you know AI is gathering from everybody in the world and creating all these what ideas and things that we're using, which they've been doing it for years. I don't use AI, but some of the team does. So I have much to learn. And that's where a lot of people are. And that's why we're having this AI Impact Hour. I see Savannah and Taron. I hope I said your name right. I will go to the ladies first, Savannah, and then I'll go to you after that.
Well,
Hey,
hello. Yes. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you good. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for hosting this. I am the CEO of Momentum. We are a small but powerful nonprofit based in Omaha, Nebraska, connecting women to employment, meaningful employment. And we are a very small team. It's myself and one direct service provider who's connecting with the moms that we serve. So I have been using AI in a plethora of different ways because I do wear so many hats. And one thing I'm working on right now is building an agent to send me reports on different networking opportunities that I might be interested in attending to, ultimately do fundraising, but really just to expand our network. So this agent will go and search every week where there's different events, who's going, why I would want to attend. I'm also building a web app
Nice.
and this app is going to have mom approved employers in our local area, and then women who or anyone can go and vote on that employer's benefits. Do they have childcare? Do they have transportation credits? Do they have good PTO or flexibility policies? So, trying to use AI to be powerful and yes, as a thought partner or a writer, but really have it work for me so that I can do less
Yeah.
with more.
I love it. And you just mentioned a lot of things. You're already creating agents. And those of you, some people were probably in their mind thinking she's going to have a robot going to do these things for her. No, it's not a physical robot. Eventually, we probably will have that. But can you explain to those people who in the background saying, "What does she mean by agent?" Because now you're hearing AI agent all the time, and tell us a little bit more of what it's going to do for you again.
So an agent, in my very non-technical terms, is a it's a assistant, a virtual assistant. You plug in instructions on what you want it to do, and then they can work however often you want them to do. If it's maybe report writing or, downloading reports and making it into a dashboard, you could have an agent make phone calls for you or make emails for you on certain times. I mean, there's so many ways you can use these basically an assistant that you assign a task and you can have different agents for so many different tasks across your organization. Um, but you do have to pay for them, and I know a lot of us probably are strapped for cash. So when you get into those more highly technical AI tools, there's a cost, but I think it's worth it because that's the time you're getting back in your day instead of going to run those reports or doing some of those tasks yourself. It's already done.
Yeah, you made a good point. I'm gonna drop a poll link. I'm gonna launch a poll. So if you guys would uh answer that for me, that'll let me know. And if you can't do the poll because some of you are on your phone or another device, go ahead and put it in the chat. And Teron, am I saying your name right? Um, thank you so much, Savannah.
Actually, you are probably the only person in my life that's pronounced it the way it was actually meant to be pronounced. It's Tehran. Tehran. Yes. That's,
Teron. Okay, awesome. Okay, I was close. Ooh.
I
So
mean, you were actually pretty accurate, actually.
awesome. So tell us how you're using AI or anything you want to share with us.
So I use a lot of AI. I have a nonprofit called Hoop Smart Basketball Academy, which is a travel basketball organization that particularly participates in AAU tournaments. And so I deal with a lot of youth. We do mentoring, we do homework assistance, we have behavioral health. So it's a multifaceted company, which is now under the umbrella of my parent company called CMA Strategic Holdings, which I just developed in the last couple of weeks. So with AI, I use probably 7 or 8 different AI platforms right now
Wow.
for different parts of my business. Um, I created my website, which I launched probably about 2 weeks ago, um, through AI. I did it all by myself. It took me with the correct prompts because I'm involved in a business and AI academy school right now. So I'm learning how to use the different platforms, what to use those platforms for, and then build one thing with Chat GPT, and then put it in like Base 44 is another platform that I use. That's what I created my app on. I mean my website on. So with the website and Base 44, my subscription came with a super agent.
Nice.
So my super agent right now um, does all of my social media. So 8 o'clock every day, we have a daily theme and posts that my super agent makes every day at the same time every day, with different quotes and different things with it, inspirational quotes and different things like that. So take care of all of my social media, answer questions. If somebody has a question, they can answer the questions. If it's something beyond their scope, then they'll send them to me.
Nice. Do me a
Um,
favor. Put
mhm.
some of those links to those tools that you're using in the chat because people are asking questions. Just type them in the chat, and I'm gonna move to this poll and share the results because you guys pretty much saying, you know, like 50% saying you're using this to write grants faster. So important. Let me remove that. So important because I know the grant funding is the way you survive unless you are really using your own funds to fund your organization. And then a lot of you saying you're using it to communicate better. I know for me, sometimes you're thinking too much and you just want to get this idea out of your head. So that is what chat is really, really good for, is helping you finish those ideas. Somebody said using it for graphics. And I saw somebody in chat say you don't like to use it for graphics. You can make chat change anything because I know a lot of times now we're seeing these graphics and they're starting to look alike. They're starting on Facebook and social and Instagram. They're starting to look alike. But remember, chat is your volunteer. You can say, hey, I don't like this. It looks too much like AI. You can tell it to make it look, like a graphic designer designed it. And some people say, stuck in my head. I'm stuck in my head thinking of what to do and what to say. Okay, I get that. That was a typo there. So I'm going to have Lashika put a link in the chat. There's going to be a conference coming up. You guys, there's plenty of tools online that are free, but I would love to see you at this conference. It's going to be happening in Orlando, Florida, September 26th, and it's also going to be virtual if you can't make it in Orlando. So there was a couple of comments in here, Copilot and sometimes Gemini. Yes, I was going to demo the difference when you're asking Copilot and Gemini and then Claude and then ChatGPT. A lot of these AI tools are really stepping up. Remember when you started using ChatGPT, you can only do certain things. Now ChatGPT is making your graphic, it's doing all the things that all of the platforms can do. And so is Copilot is stepping up as well. And then Claude will tell you, no, you need to go to Gemini to have it create a graphic. So I want to go back to a comment I saw here. I'm curious what platforms everyone is using and what you use for them. Which tools have you found work for best things? This is KJ for grant writing. So for anybody want to share what tools that I'm especially interested in platforms that are easy to use, provide good value for cost. Anybody want to share the platform you use, especially free ones. And then free ones have limits, though, you guys. As Savannah said, you can only get so far. And I know I said this on the first AI Impact. I believe eventually AI is going to be used for just the elites. And I say that because it's going to be not free for everybody. Right now, a lot of it's free. Kara says she's using Gemini for um, for most things, and then ChatGPT for products. It's free. You are the product. That's always the same. If it's free, you are the product, and we know that. But that's the way the world goes around. Mariska says she's using Gemini for her workspace and Claude as an additional tool. We have strict guidelines around how we use it, what not to put in it, and what disclosures to give it. Yes, a lot of companies are doing that. And as a nonprofit, you may want to keep that in mind when you're asking your volunteers to work on your behalf of your organization. You have strict policies, check for biases. Don't put certain things in. I see a lot of comments in the chat. Feel free, guys, to use the raise hand option because it's going so fast. I don't want to miss anybody. I also sit on a board of a large farm market org with several staff members. While the org uses Google, everyone uses their own AI tools currently. I'm hoping to find a pathway to get all staff and board using the same platform and budget costs. I hear you. And guess what? We used to Google, but Google is now AI. We're not asking Google to tell me this. We're asking AI to tell us when you use Google now. So does Google Workspace for nonprofits have Gemini? Yes, as a free AI without limits. It does not have it without limits because I have it myself. Um, Before I knew it, I was paying $260 a month for that workspace. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I needed that much. And then I had to scale back and then pick back up for when I needed it. But yes, it does have limited credits. Kathy says, I'm curious. I'm conscious that AI is continuous training on what you put in, so I have to be careful of what's in it. Yes, you're right. We all do. I don't want to be the one talking. I want somebody to come to remember this was hot seat. So I know use the raise your hand option or wave at me if you still wanted to share how you're using AI for your nonprofit. I have my colleague in the background. I know we've developed some AI tools in TechSoup, and she's put some links in the chat about some policies. I saw to put a blog post. Kathy, welcome. CNC, is this certified nonprofit consultant?
No, Cambridge Nonprofit Coalition in Cambridge,
Oh,
Massachusetts. We're about 100 different organizations
see, that's
linked.
why it's important to know this
Um,
acronym. Go ahead.
so a fun thing, not just fun, but it was exciting for me the first time I did it. I have people evaluate the workshops we run, and I always have them do it handwritten on an index card, except for certain ones that are longer. And I've discovered that Claude can transcribe. I can scan those in, and Claude very accurately transcribes the handwriting and can organize it for me in a way that's useful. That's what I've primarily used it for. It will also take a second step and summarize the results. I have had it do that. I haven't used it quite as much, but it's able to do that as well. But just the scanning everything in was a huge time saver.
And when you say you scanned it in, so they were handwritten and then you scanned them in?
Yep,
Nice.
I take all my little things, feed them into the printer scans them, and then Claude, which is what I'm using these days, I upload the PDF and Claude and if it can't read handwriting, it tells you this was a little unclear.
Nice.
But it reads it as clearly or even more so than I do.
I love it. I love it. So once you get those, are you giving them to your board or what are you using them for once you get all the
I'm
data?
using them to continuously design and redesign my programs.
I love it.
Sometimes I'm working with a committee to talk about it. Sometimes I'm just doing it myself.
Awesome. Speaking of doing it by yourself, use the raise your hand option. Actually, put emojis in there if you are a solopreneur in the nonprofit space. Yeah, it's just you. Um, Not even your board is very active, and that may be a lot of you in the chat because we see that. Yeah, I see lots of emojis going up, and there's nothing wrong with that because sometimes you get a lot done, but we know we can't do it by ourselves. So definitely, I don't know if you're a part of the TechSoup Plus community. Sarah's still going. Sarah's like me. Sarah, you want to
Oh,
share?
sorry.
No. I would love to hear. I would love to hear what you're doing because you never know. There may be some synergy in the room where somebody's here to help. We had two domestic violence groups here.
I only meant to do one, but I'm a staff of one and I'm part-time, so
Okay. Okay.
I just use it for grant writing right now. But the Marbleism thing, I put that in the chat if anyone wants to check that out. That's like 6 different assistants. And
Ooh,
one of them is actually, and I don't need this part of it, they actually have a receptionist. She answers the phone. That's a little terrifying, but I'm not sure if I'll use it or not, but it might help somebody out in here.
nice, nice. Now, I called a friend that's also an AI consultant myself, and I don't like that. And I feel like she's screening my calls. because yeah, so everybody's different, but we're going to have to adjust because that's what everybody's going to be using in the future. That is going to be your voicemail AI from now on. Kathy, I see you said I have a board and multiple committees. Yes, committees can be a a saving grace for a lot of nonprofits because a lot of people, um somebody's unmute. I'll pause so we can unmute mute that person. All right, cool. Yes, so having committees can be very helpful because I know a lot of times you want our boards, you want to keep those same strong names on the board, maybe for the grants, but maybe they're not as committed. So having other people who say I really can't commit to be a board member, but they're great with all these other ideas and being on the committee, having committees is very, very helpful. So I'm glad you put that in there. Yeah, they all can hallucinate. The AIs can all hallucinate. So you guys, we don't always have to do the whole hour. I just wanted to see who wanted to come up in the hot seat. But those of you who did come up in the hot seat, if you want a free one-on-one with me, I'm going to ask you to put your email in the chat, and we'll grab it from there. And I can set up a one-on-one. If you'd like to go over anything with me, it'll be through the TechSoup email. But that's for those who did the hot seat. If you didn't do the hot seat, yeah. So thank you, Sarah. I got you. I got you. Steve, how are you? I saw you come in. It's good to see you.
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
I'm using AI in a little different way. Originally, I had a career in business, and I'm using that.
Is it me or did he freeze up?
He froze up.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Try now, Steve. I see you turn your camera off. Let's see if it's better. No, it went off. Maybe try talking out your phone. I see a lot of emails in there that I didn't talk to. So only the people that came up in the hot seat. Steve, can you try again? There we go. I hear you.
Now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Nonprofit is called Lift Collaborative, and the idea is to get multi-sector partners together to solve neighborhood and community challenges. So basically complex problems that no one community organization or nonprofit could solve. And I'm looking to change how nonprofits are funded, and try to eliminate the starvation cycle, essentially by getting mid-sized corporations to fund multi-sector projects. So it's a fairly complicated idea, and I'm using it or I have used it to clarify the strategy of the organization because we'll have multiple stakeholders involved. I've also, because what I'm doing is I'm matching mid-sized businesses' corporate social responsibility goals that they state, and they need help with fulfilling credibly with neighborhoods. So I'm using the UN Sustainable Development Goals as kind of a language, taxonomy, and it will do research and identify in a city which corporations, small, medium, or large, actually have stated that they're interested in impacting this goal or this goal or this goal. And then it looks up, are they considered credible as opposed to greenwashing on a regular basis? So what I'm trying to do is simplify matchmaking between community needs or neighborhood needs and what businesses are legitimately trying to do. And that gives me a target, don't mean it quite that way, target business to approach, who says, look, I'd really like to work on, youth employment. Like, okay, is there a neighborhood that is also trying to tackle that same problem? So rather than just go randomly to a foundation and say, I'm trying to do something with, Westerville in Columbus, Ohio, I can look up the companies that say they're interested in doing that. So that was my first experiment. I'd call it a prototype, but I'm going to build it out as a full app in Claude. I prototyped it in Gemini, and I will actually make an app from Claude Code.
Alexis just said, that's incredible, Steve. I wonder if you guys are picking up what I'm picking up. Because I want you all to use AI, not just for the fun of for graphics and things like that. Use it to become an entrepreneur. Use it to become an entrepreneur. I think every one of us are going to need multiple streams of income. And Steve is creating something that is going not only going to help other businesses and nonprofits, but also himself. So I already heard several of you who are using AI agents, creating games and things like that. Savannah wants to know how you envision that app. Tell us more.
So say more, Savannah.
Are you imagining that app as, I guess, live? Is it going to be a directory? What's it going to look like? Who's going to be able to use it? Will it kind of be its own AI tool that anyone can go in and utilize, or is it just a customized just for you and your needs?
To be honest, Savannah, well, I built the prototype just for me because what I realize is I have a real challenge because the next phase of it, because what I need is it's always neighborhood first, community first. What do they need? And you identify what are the challenges. You bring a business sponsor and then you bring nonprofits together. So my vision for it is it actually will help create, here's a possible team that could work on this. But honestly, I did it just for myself. But if there's interest in other people using it, but the prototype currently operates is I select a city, and then I pick from the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. I have these two that I'm interested in working on. And what it does is it looks up different size companies in that given city that's named and matches what they've stated as a corporate social responsibility goal and says, and then it lists the candidates and then it gives me a judgment of who's been a good steward in their community because lots of companies claim to do all kinds of stuff, but we want to know that they've actually done this in the past. They've been authentic. They've not been accused of greenwashing and those kinds of things. So it's really just narrowing down to 2 or 3 companies that might be candidates to fund. But I could see, if you have a nonprofit that just focused on 1 or 2 things, I could see how that could be useful as well. I'm doing it because I come from a business background, so I kind of speak their language already in terms of impact statements and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask if you work with hedge funds or things like that before, because yeah.
No, I came from corporate America. I had a career with Procter and Gamble and in the innovation space. So that's what this is about. It's about running innovation programs and projects. But we're not doing the solving because we don't know the issues. The neighborhood knows the issues and the community organizations know the issues. I'm just looking for a way to fund that. And I know medium-sized businesses are trying really hard to respond to their financial stakeholders and their young employees who are demanding that they contribute to the communities in which they have facilities and that they work in. So it's yes, please give me the gift of your money. I'll give you something back in return. But that's the funding change I'd like to make. And one of the requirements is any nonprofit that's involved gets a
Somehow you got muted. I don't know how that happened.
I'm back.
Okay.
So anyway, I think that was a long-winded way of saying I can see how this would be useful. I'll put my email in the chat if anybody.
Yeah, somebody had just asked, do you mind sharing your email? And you know what I heard from what you just shared? everybody on here is solving a problem. And when you go to a funder, you're saying, I need your money, but here's how I can solve the problem. Because they're saying we have the money. We just want to make sure you know how to solve the problem. So Erica, I see your hand is up. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and share.
Yeah, I work for an arts organization. I'm in a heritage organization, and we're in a small community, and it's about five of us that are in arts and heritage and theater and stuff. And so what we did is we all uploaded like our strategic objectives and our annual reports, and then we um came up with sort of common threads between them and created a joint marketing campaign on sort of like what our like for advocacy for our especially pre-election like pre when we had local elections advocacy for our sector. And then what we did is we were able to from that create a social media campaign for each of the organizations where we're like, okay, this is the overall goals, these are the overall themes that we want to focus on based on the political priorities, and then please make specific posts for each of the five organizations that tie into these themes. And we created a like a 6-week campaign where we each had a weekly post that all aligned with each other's.
Nice. So what I'm hearing, you use AI to do all of this, your strategic plan, your social media posts. How much time would you say it saved you?
Ugh, it wouldn't have been doable. None of us has the time, right? We're all, yeah, it's nonprofits. You're always got too much on your plate. It just wouldn't have been realistic to do a good job of it. Yeah, it's allowed me to do a lot of things that I definitely couldn't manage to do. We would have to scale back a lot on what we're accomplishing as an organization if I wasn't using a lot of AI. It's streamlined very many different parts of my workflow.
Wow. I think that's like one of the most powerful things I heard today. What you just said. Yeah, it's somebody wants to know, what AI platforms do you use?
I'm currently using ChatGPT, but I am thinking about switching to Claude just for ethics concerns. Um, so I'm kind of been doing a deep dive into what I'm going to do with that. And I'm the only one at the organization using AI, so I actually just have a personal ChatGPT account that I use for my own personal uses as well as my work uses. And that's not very expensive. I do need to at some point transition as like we're quite small. So as the organization grows, I think we're gonna have to create like a more formalized account for everybody to use at work. But I'm really reluctant to move away from what I've been doing because I've been using it for so many years and it has all my history and all my stuff like with grant writing. They just all ask the same questions over and over again. So I don't even need to put anything in there anymore because all the information is in the chat from the last 15 grant applications that I can just recycle the same information.
Yeah, and isn't that a beautiful thing? And I will tell you this, from pain points for me when I did try to switch to Claude, like totally, Claude just wasn't giving me everything I needed. And you're right, ChatGPT knew me. And when I say knew me, knew, the businesses I was doing and everything like that, and didn't have to ask a lot of questions. So it's going to be some little pain points switching over if you want to totally switch over, but I would definitely bounce back and forth from them. So
Yeah, and
uh,
I have investigated the switch over and I do know it's doable, but I know I'll also lose some of the way I've organized things. Like it'll have to all be one data set uploaded into basically one chat, right? So I'll lose kind of my organizational structure for my, yeah.
nice, nice.
ChatGPT.
How many of you are in TechSoup?
You're muted right
You
now.
became muted, Aretha. I'm not sure what happened.
No, I did it myself. I muted myself trying to be out of the way. I was asking how many of you are in TechSoup Plus. If you are, put a one in the chat because there's lots of conversations taking place, and I think we should take them over into the Circle platform or the Engagement Hub on TechSoup Plus. So if you are in TechSoup Plus, put a one in the chat. I see somebody that the Zoom user. Uh, Compass Pro, I know you. You got to come back and do a webinar with us. So yeah, if you let's take some of these conversations over in the chat, somebody said, what is TechSoup Plus? I'm glad you asked. So if you're a member of TechSoup, you probably have been on the platform where we call it just TechSoup Core. It's free, where you can come to all the free webinars, and we will continue doing that. You have access to the other, all the catalogs, but it used to be called, what was it called? Not Claude, the name before Claude.
Quad.
No, before Claude.
No.
Boost.
Oh,
Boost.
Boost, yeah. And it was Quad, not Claude.
Yes. Thank you, Quad. See, too much AI. So Quad and Boost, where if you paid a membership fee, you wouldn't have to pay some of the admin fees. So TechSoup Plus is that plus a whole lot more. You kind of engage in the membership group. People have been putting in advertisement for job postings and all kinds of things within TechSoup Plus. So you may want to just go over there and just look around. And somebody put the link in there for me already. Well, I want to know, Remy. Oh my God, Remy. Hi, that's not Remy. This is Jasmine. Oh, hey, Jasmine, operational
Hi.
manager. Oh, great to
I
see
was like,
you.
I don't know who you know, but it's me, Jasmine. This is a
Yeah.
shared account, so nice to meet
Awesome.
you.
Awesome. Great to meet you too. You guys did a wonderful webinar for us. You guys can go on TechSoup.org YouTube page and look at our past AI impact hours. A lot of them were people who were doing demos. If you would like to be a person that does a demo on how you use I would definitely put my email in here and go ahead and email me. Several people have already booked us up. For the rest of the year. I think we have December, November, December open. I just put my email in there. Email me if you would like to do a demo on how you use AI. Of course, I would like to see that. Can we come hot seat without the camera? Yeah, of course. You can be on the hot seat without the camera. So just use your raise your hand option so I'll know who it is. My first time on one of these calls, somebody said, I get it. You don't have to have your camera on. So go ahead and use the raise your hand option so I'll at least know who it is because I can't see you with your camera off. And I'm going to wait a few more seconds because I cannot see you if your camera is off. You know how to use the raise your hand option. Put that in there in the chat for me. Just put yes, and I'll know who this is. And if you still want to, oh, it was a Zoom user. Are you on a device? Let me click on you. I can't put you, I
Yes,
can't,
we're on our iPad. Hello.
okay. Yeah, I can't, I clicked on your image, but I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much for having this call. Like I said, it's our first time on. My husband and I are here. We just started a nonprofit, formed in March, and we've been doing community activities, but wanted to make it official. So definitely was interested in learning more about AI tools. There's so much out there. We're in the process of finalizing our website. We're using Squarespace, and we've used ChatGPT and Gemini and Copilot to get guidance and direction on layout recommendations for the website and just trying to figure out how to make the process quicker. But overall, I think we're at a place where we are trying to figure out where's the best use of our funds, trying to take advantage of free tools or discounted tools for nonprofits. But really looking forward to hearing your advice on what the difference is between all these different platforms.
Okay, well, now that you've come on board for the hot seat, you get a free 30-minute one-on-one consultation with me. So put your email in the chat and I will grab that. My teammate and I will grab that as well. So I'm gonna get ready to close it out. Any last questions? Any last hot seats that want to jump up and tell us how you're using AI? Share with your team members. I appreciate you guys for putting your emails, not your emails, your website in the chat. It gave me an opportunity to look at what you're doing. I want to thank you guys for your time. I'm going to give you back your 10 minutes of the day. Keep doing what you're doing. You do make a difference. I'll see you on the next one. Make sure you register for the next AI Impact Hour, and I'll see you guys next month. Bye bye, everybody.